Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my full experience using up an entire bottle of the SK2 PITERA essence. I'm very excited about this video because I've been working on it for a little bit over a month and really documenting exactly what I noticed changing in my skin, the way my skin felt, and I really just wanted to take you along on this experience with me so that we could see the differences in my skin and experience it together. I also really wanted to wrap this up and film this video on the last day that I used the last bit of my essence. Prior to using the SK2 PITERA essence, I really didn't have a clear understanding of exactly what an essence was. I was pretty sure that an essence and a toner was interchangeable, so I didn't have an idea of a clear differentiation between the two. And I was never consistent with essence use in the past. I would only reach for them once in a while and was just never consistently using anything long enough to see any noticeable changes in my skin. And then when I committed to consistently using the SK2 PITERA essence, I used it twice a day, morning and night, on freshly cleansed skin. It was the first thing I put onto my skin right after cleansing so that my skin was nice and clean and could really absorb the essence. And then I would follow up with moisturizers, eye cream, sunscreen, my last skincare steps for day or night to really help seal the essence in. When you're using the SK2 PITERA essence, there is 90% PITERA in this bottle. So the PITERA is what's really responsible for those amazing transformative effects in the skin. When I was using this, I did not use any other serums, so the essence became a replacement for serums in my routine. The first time I used it, I liked it. I was a little bit skeptical because it is extremely fluid and it feels like water to your skin. Although it is moisturizing, the first time I used it, I thought, how much can this really do if it just feels like I'm pressing water into my skin? I loved the way my skin felt, moisturized, but didn't really notice that much of a big difference. It was a pleasant first experience, but couldn't see how a product like this that otherwise felt like water could be transformative. My first week into using the essence, the biggest difference I noticed was definitely my moisture levels in my skin. I felt like my skin stayed consistently more moisturized throughout the day, and I would also notice that in the night after I had used the essence, the next morning when I would wake up, my skin wasn't looking as dull. Typically when I wake up in the morning, I can't wait to do some skincare, wash my face, get some moisturizer on, because my skin would really dry out throughout the night. And once I started using the SK2 PITERA essence, my skin wasn't drying out throughout the night, which for me was a huge deal because that's always been one of my biggest issues, my skin drying out throughout the night and throughout the day, and I would just progressively start looking more dull because my skin was always really dehydrated. Good morning. Today I'm going to be doing my second time using the SK2 essence. I just tried it for the first time yesterday. So this will be like my first week check-in, and basically what I do every day after I cleanse my skin, I'm just gonna put some of the essence in my hands and press it into my skin, and then follow up with a moisturizer. Now, about 2 to 3 weeks into using the essence, that's when my boyfriend actually started noticing differences in my skin, and he was complimenting me on my skin, saying that it was looking really nice and bouncy. So by consistently using it morning and night for about 2 weeks, that's when I feel like my skin really had this beautiful, like plush dewiness to it naturally, and I didn't have to be using any other types of serums or special moisturizers to get that effect. The essence was really giving it to my skin. I also just started noticing around this time that that's when my skin really started evening out. So week 2 with my SK2 essence, it's the morning time, so I've just cleansed my skin and then I'm going to do my application. Personally, what I've noticed for myself is I actually really like doing a couple layers maybe like 2 applications in the morning, and then at night, sometimes I'll really double up on it. But when I do more than 1 application, I feel like my skin just holds that moisture for so much longer. So that's really what I like to do. And I'll just wait a moment for it to get absorbed into my skin, and then I know that I can go in with the second application. So I'll just really let that get nice and absorbed, and then whatever is lingering I take on my chest, on my hands, but just basically press it in everywhere. One of the biggest things I'm noticing is that when I do have the essence on, my skin almost seems to like absorb the moisturizer a lot better. And I feel like when I don't have the essence on, my skin almost just lets the moisturizer like sit on top, if that makes sense. Versus you can see like right after I put the essence on, I have like a nice little glowy sheen. I feel like my skin tone's also looking a little bit brighter and more even toned. I just don't notice my dark spots looking quite as apparent right now. And maybe you can see when I touch my skin, it's not, it doesn't look dry. Like I have this really nice bounce to it, and it's a little bit more dewy than it typically looks. Like my skin's usually extremely dry and you can just like run your fingers over it, but I really like this little bit of bounce that my skin has, and it just feels so nice. Like my skin has genuinely felt softer when I use it. It's so nice. Again, around the 2 to 3 week mark is when I really started to notice the difference in the tone of my skin. I felt like my skin was looking more bright, more even toned. I noticed that the visible rash I had around my mouth had really started to become a lot less agitated and a lot less red. And I just noticed that my skin was looking so nice. Like I was just genuinely so happy with lightening up on the amount of makeup that I was wearing throughout the day, and just enjoying the way my skin looked on its own. Good morning. Today I'm doing my check-in of about 3.5 weeks of my SK2 Essence. I just cleansed my skin, and I feel like this is the week that I'm actually starting to notice really big differences in my skin in terms of the way it feels moisturized, even when I've already like cleansed, because typically after cleansing my skin feels really dry and tight. But I feel like it's really making my skin just have this nice glowy sheen, even in the morning, and even, you know, after I've cleansed my skin just doesn't feel quite as dry. But then it's like once I put the essence on, it really starts getting nice and glowy. So I'm using a few drops, and I just put it right into my hand, rub it around, and then I just press it in. I think the biggest difference is that when I touch my skin, it all of a sudden feels really smooth and soft. And actually, my boyfriend has made a comment now, like these past few mornings, he's been like, your skin looks really good. And I was like, it feels really good, but I, you know, see myself every day. So I wasn't really feeling like there was that much of a difference that you could see. I felt like you could really just feel it. But when I look at my skin now, I feel like obviously I have a lot of hyperpigmentation, but I feel like overall, without any makeup on, I feel like my skin is starting to look a lot brighter and more even toned. It's officially my last week with my SK2 bottle. I'm down to the last few drops of the essence, and I just cleansed my face and press it in gently. I'm noticing such a huge difference now in my skin's moisture levels and just the overall smoothness of my skin. I used to have a lot of visible texture. I had a pretty bad rash around my mouth that I was really worried was never gonna go away. And it's finally gone, and I'm just loving how smooth to the touch my skin feels when I'm pushing the essence. That's one of the biggest things I'm noticing, is just because you do apply the essence with your hand, like you actually get to feel the difference in the texture of your skin. And mine is just feeling so much more smooth and I'm loving the way makeup is starting to lay on top of my skin. I don't have quite as much noticeable, visible texture on my face. So I'm really loving that. And I always do 2 layers of the essence in the morning, sometimes 3, depending on what I feel like my skin really needs. I also really love concentrating it around my eye area just to keep that nice and moisturized. And just push it in, whatever's left over, I'll put on the back of my hand, my neck, chest, all those areas. Just don't let the essence go to waste. Use it up, put it on your neck, your chest, back of your hands. Don't waste the PITERA. After using up an entire bottle of the SK2 PITERA essence, I can genuinely say that this PITERA essence is what my skincare routine was missing. I feel like I finally have more even tone, moisturization that lasts all day and all night. I have this genuinely soft, plump, bouncy feeling to my skin. I love the way makeup lays on top of my skin because I don't have as much texture and my skin feels noticeably smoother to the touch. I have a noticeable natural radiance to my skin. I'm wearing less foundation, less makeup in general to cover up my skin because I'm just loving the overall even tone of my skin. And it wasn't anything else because I wasn't using any other serums. I didn't have any professional facial treatments done. I was just consistent and committed to the PITERA essence, and I mean, my skin has completely changed within a month. The SK2 PITERA essence fits seamlessly into your skincare routine. You just want to apply it onto skin that is freshly cleansed. Do a couple shakes into the palm of your clean hands, and you just press it into your skin. And this is officially the last few drops of my bottle. And just press that right in. And because you apply the essence with your hands, the warmth of your hands just pushes the essence in perfectly. You feel that instantaneous surge of moisture. Your skin feels plump and bouncy. You get a really pretty natural glowy dewy sheen, and my skin just feels ready. Like it feels so good, so soft, so moisturized. I love how the essence also just, like I said, instantly takes away dullness. The SK2 PITERA essence will be here to stay in my skincare routine because I'm not only impressed with the way it makes my skin look, but more importantly with the way it makes my skin feel. So if you have any questions regarding my experience with the SK2 PITERA essence, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I will do my best to help you and answer your questions based on my experience with the product and the way that I've used it over the past month. I'll also have a link to the SK2 PITERA essence in my description box if you're interested in trying it out. I've already ordered my backup bottle, so I'll just be waiting on that for the next couple days. And yeah, I will chat with you in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't earlier, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye.